we had another winning week. But this one, there's some interesting games here. There's some desperate games. So I think that this is going to be an interesting week for some sports betting. So let's begin with the first pick of the Harvey Hot Hand Week 7 edition with
Panthers at Jets.
We're betting this one. The only time I'm going to be betting the Carolina Panthers probably this NFL season, but I do think Carolina has found something with Rico Dowdle out there. They are a shockingly effective running team. They are the second best team while rushing under center and the second best team in design runs. Meanwhile, the Jets defense is 17th in both of those categories. Under center and then design runs. 17th best defense in that regard. I just think that ultimately Rico Dowdle's effectiveness has been largely the reason why, and really the only reason why, in my opinion, that the Panthers have been able to be this successful, because rushing yards the last 2 games, Rico Dowdle, 389. Basically, the rest of the NFL has less than that. So he's outrunning actual teams in the last 2 weeks here. I think that may continue in this one. Now, the Jets did a good job against the Denver Broncos in London. However, I just think that I don't know what the hell the Broncos are doing offensively, handing it off to your fullback and your third-string running back and doing some weird things with Bo Nix. To me, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I will say this is the most shocking part of the Panthers this season. They had the worst defense last year. They have a top 10 defense this year. Getting a lot of pressure. Justin Fields is feeling the pressure. He's been pressured on over 50% of his dropbacks, which is pretty crazy. I just think right now, and here's the big thing for me. The Jets are on the 7th most man coverage in the NFL this season. Bryce Young has the most touchdowns against man defense. He's 8 touchdowns, 0 picks against man. So he's been incredibly effective. Now, the completion percentage is a bit low, but the effectiveness is there. So give me the Panthers to beat the Jets. I'll take the Panthers 24-20. They cover the -1.5 point spread. The next one.
Patriots at Titans.
Give me the Patriots here. This is a big revenge game for Mike Vrabel, and I understand that maybe you take a look at, third straight road game, 4th road game so far this season. However, the Pats are 3-0 on the road thus far and 3-0 against the spread on the road. And they also have the 6th most points scored on the road. I think this is going to be a big-time spot here. You're going off a win against the Buffalo Bills a couple weeks ago. Last week, the officiating was so bad, and everybody pointed it out. You should have absolutely blown out the New Orleans Saints. But in this one, you're going up against a team who just fired its head coach, whose quarterback isn't looking great in Cam Ward, who doesn't have a great running game, who doesn't have many talented players. Calvin Ridley, your main offensive piece, he'll be out for this game. The defense isn't very good. The Titans don't do anything right. And that just adds to another reason why the Patriots are going to win this game, because they have built a culture. The post-Belichick and the post-Gerard Mayo culture, Mike Vrabel's done a tremendous job. They got to get the running game fixed, but Drake Maye is doing a very, very good job at lifting this team up to levels that a lot of people didn't expect. However, now you look at the team, you're like, okay, that's why they're favored in 11 games this season. It kind of makes sense. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL. I expect them to get a big-time win here. They're 3-0 against the spread on the road, as well as undefeated on the road, and scored the 6th most points on the road. Give me the Patriots, 24-14. They cover the 6.5 point spread. The next one.
Buccaneers at Lions.
Give me the Lions in this one. First of all, I'll start with this. The Lions haven't lost back-to-back games since 2022. That's the first thing. Dan Campbell figures things out. And here's the shocking thing. Since that same year, 2022 at home, they're first in passer rating, first in touchdowns scored and touchdowns per game, first in yards per play, second in completion percentage, second in total yards per game, second in point differential. They have the most points scored at home, and they average 34 points per game at home, and their average margin of victory at home is 11.3 points. They dominate at home. The Lions, Dan Campbell, this offense, the defense, it just absolutely shuts down teams when they're at home. So give me the Lions in a big-time victory here. I think that they'll go a little bit below their average in points scored, and the opposing team will go a little bit above what they let up. They average about 22 points per game allowed at home. Give me the Lions here. Normally, the saying goes, good teams, after getting embarrassed one week, the following week, they come back strong. I think Dan Campbell's going to get it sorted out. He still can't figure out the illegal formation or illegal shift with Jared Goff on the opening drive. That's still getting talked about, which is crazy to believe. But give me the Lions in a big-time victory. They win 31-24. They cover the 5.5 point spread. The next one.
Giants at Broncos.
Give me the Broncos in this one. This one's probably the riskiest play, I think. However, Denver is 2-0 at home. They have the fewest yards per game allowed. They average 7.5 points per game allowed at home. Nobody scores against them when they're at home. They have the 4th best point differential at home, 5th best pressure rate. They have the number 1 sack rate in the NFL. They're number 1 in EPA per play allowed at home. They're an incredibly dominant defense. My only concern is, what is Bo Nix going to do? Again, actions versus words. Sean Payton loves Bo Nix, has faith in Bo Nix, yet the playbook just seems so dumbed down during the games. I mean, you're going up against the Jets, whose defense has done nothing all season, and you score 13 points with the only touchdown coming from a 3rd-string tight end, if I'm not mistaken. That was the only touchdown of the game. You didn't throw any deep balls, really. There were no great intermediate routes. A 3rd and 7 was a check down to a running back. Open up the playbook a little bit. I think the pressure will get to Jaxson Dart. It'll force a couple of turnovers because once the Saints' pressure got to Jaxson Dart, he started fumbling a little bit. Cam Scadaboo had a fumble here and there. I think the Broncos defense will shut him down. There'll be some points scored here and there, but I think ultimately, though, the score will not represent how far apart this game was. Give me the Broncos in a big-time victory. They cover the -7 and win 28-20. And the final one, the most shocking one, I would say, just because they have to win this, is
Dolphins at Browns.
Give me the Dolphins here in the upset over the Cleveland Browns. This is a final straw game. If I am Stephen Ross and I'm taking a look at my team and I'm seeing everything that's going down, now trade rumors with Jalen Waddle, Mike McDaniel can't speak English at a podium, Tua Tagovailoa, tacking leadership, even though he wears a C on his chest, which means he's a captain and a leader of this team. I think there needs to be some drastic changes. And plus, Chris Greer not bringing in good enough talent when you knew you're going to lose Teron Armstead and your offensive line is terrible and you can't stop anything on defense, even though your defense has some players. Ultimately, the defense can't play well. I think that this might be a game where we could just see some shocking moves, whether it be, okay, let's just blow up the team. Jalen Waddle, go get us a 3rd-round pick. Okay, Mike McDaniel, you're gone. Okay, Chris Greer, you're finished here. I think that if you allow the Cleveland Browns, who are the 2nd worst team in the NFL, in my opinion, with arguably the worst quarterback in the NFL in Dylan Gabriel, and you let them run and throw all over you, and you lose to the Cleveland Browns when they're 1-5, and you're underdogs? Yeah, no, something has to change. This would be the most unacceptable loss of the Miami Dolphins in probably the last 15 years. Because there's no reason you should lose to, if the Titans didn't exist, this would be far and away the worst team in the NFL. So if the Browns somehow pull this out, I don't think they will. The Dolphins need this win. Because even against the Chargers, early in the game, they had some really good moments. The game was close. And at the very end, the Chargers created some distance. And then very late on the final drive, Ladd McConkey has this massive play to get into field goal range. And ultimately, the Chargers were able to kick the game-winning field goal. But this is a can't lose. You cannot lose this game if you're the Miami Dolphins. So I'm taking them here. I'm eating the 2.5. They upset. I can't believe I'm saying upset. The Dolphins upset the Cleveland Browns. They win 26-23, obviously covering the +2.5 point spread. And those are my 5 picks for the Harvey Hot Hand. Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching this clip of the Harvey Hour. If you want to watch the full show, you can by clicking the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to take the show with you on the go, it is available wherever you get your podcast. We go live here on YouTube every single Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a video and whenever we go live.